Hi, Jacob. Hopefully it will be helpful for you if I read through this chapter 13. It's pretty lengthy, so try to bear with me if you're reading along with me. And if you don't get through the whole video this afternoon before having your quiz tomorrow, let me know, and then I'll just ask to see if we can't get an extension of time on that quiz. And then also on the quiz, if you need me to give you a call and I can read that over the phone, we can do that as well, okay? So chapter 13 is on page 272, and it's on light and weather conditions, and I'm gonna read as much as I can here without losing my voice. Anyway, page 272, driving safely in low light and at night. You know you can't see as well at night, but the same is true just before the sunrise or after sunset. As visibility decreases, your risk of not being able to see something coming and getting in collision increases. To lessen your own risk, be aware that reduced lights limit visibility. How do low light conditions affect visibility? Your ability to see and to be seen diminishes when there is less light. This is obviously true at night when you absolutely must use your headlights to see the road, but it is equally true during daytime and at sundown when traffic going to and from work is sometimes heavier and people don't always use their headlights. Intensifying and diminishing levels of sunlight during the dusk and dawn hours make it more difficult to see the roadway and vehicles traveling on it. Other drivers, as well as pedestrians, will have more difficulty seeing your vehicle at these times, particularly if you don't have your headlights on. Night driving presents special challenges. At night, darkness limits your view of the road ahead and the surrounding area. Even with your headlights on, your ability to see ahead when turning or driving around a curve is severely reduced, although you can often see the beams of the other vehicle's headlights before you can actually see the car. However, sudden glare from another vehicle's headlights can be distracting or blinding. How can you drive safely when the amount of light is low? To drive safely in low light conditions, you must maximize visibility by turning on your headlights. You must also manage time and space wisely. Use common sense. When your view of the road is limited, slow down. Drive with your headlights on whenever you drive, day or night. Your headlights and tail lights help illuminate your vehicle, making it easier for others to see you in all kinds of light. When you suddenly meet another car with its brights on, look at the line of the right side of the road for an instant until your eyes adjust. Dusk and dawn driving. Using your headlights makes it easier to see and be seen in the dim light of dusk and dawn. Do not use your parking lights. They are not designed to light the road ahead, but only to indicate your position when you are parking. In addition to turning on your headlights at dawn or dusk, also try to increase the distance between your vehicle and the one ahead. Night driving. Night driving requires a greater level of awareness. Since you can't see very well, it is wise to drive more slowly at night than you do during the day, and to leave more distance between your vehicle and the vehicle ahead. Use the 3 or 4 second rule you have learned to help you judge a safe following distance in addition to using your headlights correctly. Use low beams and high beams correctly. Usually you drive with low beams. Use your high beams to increase visibility only on very dark roads with no other vehicles around or undivided highways with no traffic in front of you. Switch back to low beams as soon as you spot a vehicle ahead of you. The glare of your high beams can momentarily blind another driver. Do not overdrive your headlights. At night, drive at a speed that will allow you to stop within the range of your lights. That is, within the distance you can see. Driving faster than you can safely see is called overdriving your headlights and makes you vulnerable to unseen hazards. Look beyond your headlights. Get into the habit of looking for objects just beyond your headlight beams to see possible threatening conditions. Okay, lesson 2 on page 274. Visibility, bright light, and glare. Think of a bright summer morning just as the sun rises. The sky is cloudless and the world is bathed in sunlight. That's a pretty picture for a morning walk, but it's not always so pretty when you are behind the wheel of a vehicle. The beautiful sunlight can turn to dangerous glare. What conditions create glare from the sun? Sunlight increases visibility, but it is possible to get too much of a good thing. Glare is caused when the sun hits your windshield, and glare can act in the opposite way. It can reduce your ability to see. The sun's glare is most dangerous at certain times early and late in the day when you are driving directly into the sun. Glare from sunlight also reflects from other vehicles' windshields or even mirror surface buildings if the angles are right. In the morning or late afternoon, when the sun is low or on the horizon, glare can make it hard to see the road ahead. With the sun in your face, glare can also reduce your ability to see the brake lights of other vehicles, especially if you're driving toward the sun with a dirty windshield and the sun's rays are shining directly in your eyes. How can you drive safely in the glare of the sun? As in all driving situations, advanced preparation can help you minimize the risks associated with glare. As part of your pre-driving check, make sure that your vehicle's windshield is clean. As part of your overall vehicle maintenance, replace a badly scratched or pitted front windshield. Glare is worse through a dirty or scratched windshield because the dirt and scratches intensify and refract the glare close to your face. So have sunglasses handy as soon as you can begin to squint, slip on the sunglasses to shield your eyes. When you are dealing with glare, reduce your speed. Give yourself an extra margin of safety by leaving some distance between your vehicle and other vehicles. Adjust your sun visor to block out the sun, but be careful that the visor does not hinder your view of overhead signs and signals. Even if you have your sunglasses on and can see road signs and signals, keep in mind that others on the roadway may not be able to see as clearly as you. Always be alert for the sudden, careless, or unsafe actions of other drivers and pedestrians. Watch carefully for pedestrians. Remember, they may be having trouble seeing because of glare too. Other drivers. If you are having trouble seeing, so are the drivers around you. Keep in mind that when the sun is behind you, oncoming drivers have the sun's glare in their eyes and may have trouble seeing you. Drive with your low beam headlights on to make your vehicle more visible and signal your intention to turn or change lanes well in advance. The sun shining in the back of your vehicle may also make it very difficult for the driver behind you to see your brake lights or directional signals. For this reason, it's wise to tap the brake pedal to flash your taillights, to turn on your signals well in advance, and to use hand or arm signals as well to communicate your intentions. Okay. Lesson 3 on page 276, minimizing risk in rain and snow. It's nice to just stay indoors when it's raining or snowing outside. However, if you have to drive somewhere in rainy, icy, or snowy weather, it's not pleasant and can be dangerous. As a driver, you must understand and manage the risk that driving in such weather presents. How do rain and snow affect visibility, time, and space? You won't be able to see very far ahead in heavy rain or snow. You may not be able to see the edges of the roadway. Snow and sleet collecting on your windshield can produce blind areas that your windshield wipers can't reach. Snowy or rainy weather can also make the roadway slick, reducing the ability of your tires to grip the road. You won't be able to stop and steer as securely as under dry conditions, and the differences in stopping time and space increase your risk of collision unless you allow for them. Rain and snow decrease your ability to see in every direction. Decreased visibility makes it more difficult than usual for you to judge distances and to manage time and space well. Bad weather conditions also make it much harder for other drivers and pedestrians to see your vehicle. Precautionary measures in rain and snow. Advanced preparation and some common sense precautions will help you drive in rain and snow. Here are some steps you can take to control the level of risk when weather conditions are bad. 1. Advanced preparation. Prepare in advance by clearing your vehicle's windows and lights of dirt and snow. Check the tread and pressure of your tires. Check the headlights, windshield wipers, defroster, and other equipment to make sure they are all in good working condition. Number 2, margin of safety. Allow an extra margin of safety by driving more slowly and leaving extra space between your vehicle and other vehicles. Number 3, low beam headlights. Keep your low beam headlights on at all times. This increases the distance you can see and makes your car more visible to other drivers and pedestrians. Number 4, vehicle tracks. On wet pavement, drive in the tracks of the vehicle ahead of you. Those tracks are drier than the surrounding surface and often offer better traction. Number 5, advance notice. Give other drivers plenty of advance notice. When you intend to slow down or turn, communicate your intentions early by signaling so that other drivers have time to react accordingly. Number 6, turns and curves. Ease your way into turns and curves. Avoid sudden acceleration, starts, or stops, which can cause your vehicle to go into a skid. Number 7, be alert. Be on the watch for pedestrians dashing from shelter or those with umbrellas restricting their view of traffic. Pull off the road. If rain becomes so heavy that even your windshield wiper's highest speed cannot keep up with the downpour, signal and then pull well off the road. Go into a protected area if possible and wait for the storm to calm down. Remember to switch on your emergency flashers so that other drivers can see your vehicle while you've stopped. You may also need to pull over in snow or sleet. Pull over if your windshield wipers become crusted with ice or if accumulating snow or sleet creates blind areas on your windshield. In this case, use a scraper and brush to remove all of the buildup. Run your defroster to clear the windshields as much as possible before you resume driving. How can I minimize risk in rain and snow? The best way to reduce the level of risk in snowy or icy conditions is to postpone driving until the weather clears. Whenever possible, wait until the roads are plowed and sanded or salted before venturing out on them. Unfortunately, sometimes you cannot postpone a trip. If you do have to drive under snowy or icy conditions, keep in mind that you might go into a drive under, you might go into a skid, Drive slowly with extra caution. Allow yourself an especially large margin of safety with other vehicles when you need to stop or turn. When you do want to slow down, stop or turn, maneuver the vehicle gently and gradually. If you live in a snowy area, keep on hand cold weather items such as windshield scraper and brush, a shovel, jumper cables, emergency flares, and gloves during the winter. Preventing bad weather skids. Skidding out of control is the biggest worry during bad weather. In Chapter 14, you will learn what to do if your vehicle starts to skid. If you change speed or direction gradually and smoothly rather than abruptly, you will minimize the chance of skidding. Anticipate situations in which skids are likely and take steps to maintain control of your vehicle. When you see a stop sign or red signal light ahead on the ice or snow-packed roadways, press the brake pedal down very gently to avoid a skid. Anticipate and prevent hydroplaning. A sudden shower of rain while you are driving presents an additional hazard. During the first 10 to 15 minutes of rainfall, the roads are at their slickest. The slickness occurs because the rain's moisture mixes with surface dirt and oil, form a slippery film. The film is like driving on an oily surface, and it greatly reduces the ability of your tires to grip the road. Additionally, even at speeds as low as 35 miles per hour, the tires of a vehicle can begin to skim along the wet surface of the road. The vehicle's tires may completely lose contact with the road and be moving on a thin film of water. This is called hydroplaning. Hydroplaning is very dangerous because it severely limits your ability to control your vehicle since your tires have actually lost contact with the road. To reduce the chance of hydroplaning, reduce your speed by about 1/3 when driving on wet roadways. Make periodic checks to make sure your tires have plenty of tread and are properly inflated too. All right, last lesson, I believe, lesson 4, other hazardous weather conditions. Snow and rain are not the only weather-related driving problems. These conditions have additional effects that are not present when it rains or snows. It is also important to be aware of other hazardous weather conditions. Fog, industrial smog, or sudden dust storm or sandstorm affects visibility. Strong gusts of winds can blow your vehicle off the road. You can manage these conditions if you know what they are and what hazards they present. How can you manage other rain-related conditions? When driving in other rain-related conditions, you must take the same steps in managing your visibility and minimizing your risks that you do when it rains. In addition, it is important that you know what to do if you were caught in these particular conditions. Thunderstorms. Thunderstorms can be harsh and unpredictable. Some thunderstorms can be seen approaching while others hit without any warning. If your visibility becomes impaired from the thunderstorm, pull safely onto the shoulder of the roadway, away from any trees that could fall on your vehicle, and turn on your emergency lights until the heavy rain subsides. Make sure you stay in your vehicle with the windows closed to protect yourself from lightning. Hail. Hail can be destructive and should be taken seriously. Hailstorms relentlessly pummel everything in their path, from trees to vehicles. If a hailstorm catches you while driving, you should take extra precautions to protect yourself and your car. To stay safe and avoid damage, stay inside your vehicle. Hail can travel at highway speeds or higher. The larger the hail, the faster it falls. If possible, stop driving and pull to a safe place so the hail doesn't break your windshield or any windows. Driving compounds hail's impact with your car. When you stop, do so under an overpass, and don't forget to pull out of the traffic lanes and onto a shoulder. Avoid ditches due to possible high-rising water. When parking, keep your car angled so the hail is hitting the front of your car. Windshields are reinforced to withstand forward driving and pelting objects. Side windows and back glass are not reinforced, so they're much more susceptible to breakage. Finally, lie down if possible and keep your back to the windows. If you have a blanket, cover yourself with it to prevent possible debris from hitting you. Floods. If it's raining hard for several hours or rain is steady for several days, you should be aware of the possibility of floods. Begin by avoiding dips and underpasses. When you come to a flooded area, turn around and go the other way. If you're caught in a flood, do not drive through the flooded areas, even if they look shallow enough to cross. 2 feet of water can easily carry away most automobiles. If your car is caught in a flash flood, abandon it immediately and move to high ground. How can you minimize risks in other hazardous weather conditions? You must understand and learn how to manage risk posed by weather hazards, including fog, smog, sandstorms, dust storms, winds, and tornadoes. Fog or smog. Dense fog poses hazards. Scattered patches of fog may suddenly occur, cutting your field of vision without warning. If humidity is too high, moisture can form on the inside and outside of the windshield, further reducing visibility. Turn on your windshield wipers and defogger as necessary. Low beam headlights are also essential when driving in fog. You may want to switch on your emergency flashers to further increase the ability of other highway users to see you. Resist the temptation to put on your high beams. The small droplets of water and fog reflect light back into your eyes, making visibility worse with high beams than with low beams. To better manage time and space when driving in fog, reduce speed, increase your following distance, and remain alert for sudden movements. If fog is very dense, the wisest thing to do is to signal, pull off the road, and wait for conditions to improve. Do not stop on the road. Stop outside a guardrail if possible and turn off all lights. In some areas, industrial smoke and other kinds of air pollution creates smog that decreases drivers' visibility as much as fog. Methods described for driving in fog are equally useful for smog conditions. Sand and dust. In some parts of the country, sandstorms and dust storms cause serious visibility problems. As you drive, you may encounter various conditions that affect your ability to see and operate your car safely. To reduce risk, use your headlights every time you drive and keep them clean and aligned. Be alert to changing environmental and roadway conditions. When buying a car, consider one of those design limit blind spots, and those color enhances its ability to be seen. Whenever visibility becomes limited, adjust your speed and position to provide more space between your car and other highway users. If you are caught in a sandstorm or a dust storm, signal, pull off the road, turn on your flashers, and wait for the storm to pass. If you must drive, use your low beam headlights and proceed slowly and very cautiously. Wind. Depending on the size and weight of the vehicle you are driving, high winds can be a nuisance or dangerous. A strong gust of wind can actually push a lightweight vehicle right out of its lane. Under windy conditions, reduce speed and grip the steering wheel firmly to maintain control of your vehicle. Leave extra space between your vehicle and nearby vehicles, especially those that are likely to be affected by wind, such as vans, recreational vehicles, and vehicles pulling trailers. Nature is not the only source of wind. Buses, trucks, and tractor trailers can generate powerful blasts of wind as they pass by you. Always allow as much distance as possible to the side between your vehicle and the passing large vehicle. In this way, you can minimize the force of the resulting wind gust. Tornadoes. Although tornadoes can occur at any time throughout the year, the peak activity period is March through early July, according to the National Weather Service. If you encounter a tornado while driving, listen to your car radio and stay alert until you get to safety. If you spot a tornado, get out of the vehicle and take shelter in a substantial structure. However, if there's no time to get indoors, lie flat in the nearest ditch or depression and use your hands to cover your head and protect yourself from flying debris. Never try to outdrive a tornado. It changes direction quickly and can easily lift and toss a car or truck through the air. All right, that looks like all we have for chapter 13. Hopefully reading that is helpful for you. And again, let me know if you need some added time before we get your quiz done. Yeah, get in contact with me if you need to. Thanks, Jacob.